Welcome to my channel, The Silver Hair Homemaker. Today's video is going to be a little bit different for me in that I don't normally take y'all in the store shopping with me, but today I have a little bit of a different way I'm going to be doing it. I've got some meals planned out for if you're on a tight budget. Now I'm trying to keep this at $30 or under, and I'm going to be shopping two different stores. I'm going to be shopping at the Dollar Tree. I'm going there first to see what they have available in my area. And then of course we'll be going in Walmart. I have to run some errands today, so I'll be going by both of those places. Very convenient for me to stop in, and I needed to go to Walmart anyway. So let's get this show on the road and get out there and see if we can do this for under $30. All right, I'm finished up. Let's get out of here. Okay, I am back. This is what I got today. I wound up going to two different Dollar Trees and Walmart. I did not go out of my way to do my shopping, but I was trying to get the most bang for my buck. So this is what I wound up with. We have some peas and carrots, some pepper stir fry, 2 cans of chicken, some egg noodles, some pantry stable milk, that's whole milk, some au gratin potatoes, some brown sugar, granulated sugar, a 2-pound bag of self-rising flour. We have a can of green beans. This is bacon pieces. We have some fresh spinach, a garden salad, some ranch dressing, 2 things of the smoked sausage. We have 8 ounces of Colby Jack cheese. We have a pound of rice, and I have a half a dozen eggs. Now I didn't buy the eggs at Walmart simply because I do have my own chicken, so I have an abundance of eggs. So I was not going to purchase eggs when I already had them here. But I am, however, including the cost of the eggs at Walmart. I priced them at Walmart. I am including that price in my total. So the total cost for all that you see right here, and that includes the cost of the eggs, was $31.05. I went over budget by $1.05, but hey, it does happen in real life, right? If I had left the bacon pieces off, I would have been fine. I was not adding it up as I went through the store. I was just putting the things that were on my list in my buggy. So it is what it is. Real life. There you go. We're going to have some nice tasty meals out of the food that I have here. And we'll see just how long that this lasts us. Now the $31.05 price is before tax because taxes are different everywhere. So I did not include the tax in that. I know here our tax, it's crazy high. It's 9%, and that's on food. So it's 10% on everything else. You know, where you live, you may not have tax on your food at all, and if you don't, that is awesome. You know, or you may have 3% or 4%, but it is what it is. And I'll show you that in just a minute. But here are the receipts. I hope you can see that. This first one was for $6.25. This next one was for $5. Now I'm giving you the total before the tax. And then the one from Walmart was $17.52. But if you can see that, It's got tax too right here, 9%. Good old Alabama, 9% tax on your food. So, total of $31.05. We'll get started on this tomorrow. I have been Okay, this is day one. Now I'm going to start this by saying I do not eat 3 meals a day. I eat 2 meals a day. That's how I've just done it for years. And my first meal of the day is normally somewhere between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. So with that being said, my first meal of the day could be a breakfast meal or it could be a lunch meal. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day and what I want. Let me also throw in here that my video is just to give you some ideas of some meals that you can make on a budget of $30. So because this video is just to give you ideas of what you can cook in that budget range, you won't find a lot of written recipes in the description box today. You may find 1 or 2, but they'll be very minimal. Reason being, I'm going to be in the kitchen just doing what I do on a daily. So with that being said, up front, let's get started on today's breakfast. We're going to be making some homemade pancakes this morning. But to get us started, we are going to make some homemade syrup. Because I did not purchase syrup, it wasn't in my budget. I have took the recipe for this syrup way down because I don't need a whole lot. So I'm going with a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and a 1/4 cup of water. You're going to put all that in your pot and get it mixed up. I've turned this on a medium heat and I'm just going to get these sugars and this water mixed up really well. You want all the sugar to dissolve and you're going to bring this to a boil. Now we've got our smoked sausage. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on my griddle. And I cut 1/2 of the sausage into 2 pieces. Long ways. Cut it however you want to. I'm going to get this on my griddle over here so we can start frying up. For our pancakes, we're going to need 3/4 of a cup of self-rising flour. You're going to need a little bit of sugar, about a tablespoon. Just mix that sugar around in there with that flour. Add in 1 egg. Add in a tablespoon of melted butter. And you'll need some milk. I'm just going to add a little bit of milk at a time until I get them to the consistency that I want. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of this on my griddle back here. Now you're just going to pour your pancake mix on. Just make them whatever size you want. Okay, we're going to give them a little flip. That one's not ready yet. Here we go. There's the first one coming off. This is my third and last pancake that's on to cook. You can tell how nice it's rising with using the self-rising flour. These are going to be delicious. Okay, so here are my pancakes with my smoked sausage. I've got my syrup right here that I've made. There you go, our first meal for this video. It's 3 pancakes and some smoked sausage. I'm gonna go eat. I think I've got everything laid out here for tonight's dinner, so let's get this started. To get this dinner started, I'm gonna take me a saucepan. I'm gonna add 1 cup of water. I'm gonna turn this on a high heat. I need this water to boil. To my water, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of rice. And I'm going to add some salt to it. Now you're going to season to taste. Now you'll notice that I did not have salt, pepper, garlic powder, any of that in my budget food that I purchased. And that is because most people do have your basic seasonings and some type of oil or butter that they can cook with. So those are not included in my budget haul. And when this comes to a boil, like it is right now, you want to turn your stove down to low. Pop a lid on it. Let it simmer on low for 15 minutes. While you're waiting on your rice to cook, you want to get you a skillet of some sort. I'm using this iron skillet. I'm going to turn it on a medium heat. I'm going to add me some olive oil in here. Now I only need one of these sausages, so I'm just going to slice up one. Okay, I've got my sausage all cut up. Now I'm going to add it into my pan. Let that start browning up. My sausage is starting to brown up really nice. I like a good char on mine. So now I'm going to add some of my pepper stir-fry veggies in. I'm going to add in a little bit of pepper. I'm not going to add any salt in because my rice does have salt, and I'm sure that that sausage has some salt in it. So I am going in with some black pepper. Okay, we've got our rice. I am going to add just a little bit of butter on top of my rice. Let's get that salad made. Okay, I'm just going to take my classic iceberg salad mix and put me some in this bowl. I'm going to add some of my bacon bits on top. Next, I'm going to take some of my Colby Jack cheese and I'm going to get it grated on top. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of my ranch dressing. Sausage. So there you go. A delicious dinner of smoked sausage with peppers and onions over rice with a nice salad on the side. I'm going to go eat my dinner. Day 2. Let's get going. Okay, for today's first meal, we're going to be cooking some smoked sausage, homemade biscuits, and an omelet. We're going to get started making our biscuits. I'm preheating my oven to 450 degrees. You need about 3/4 of a cup of self-rising flour. You want to use about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm just using this. Now I am going to go ahead, I've got me a silicone mat out here so I can roll my biscuits out. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to sprinkle me a little bit of flour onto my mat. But I'm going to take this right here, and I've got my butter in with my flour, and I'm just going to start kind of mixing that butter in to that flour till it gets kind of crumbly. Now you're going to add in some milk. Now I'm just eyeballing this. I'm just going to start with just a little bit. I'm going to get that stirred up in there. I'm going to add a little bit more milk, and then I'll get my dough turned out onto this mat. You want to get you a pan of some sort. I've lined this little pan with some aluminum foil, and I have sprayed it with a nonstick cooking spray. But you just want to get your dough out on this mat, and you just want to knead it a couple of times. Now you can get a rolling pin if you want to. I'm just going to use this glass. I'm just going to kind of roll this out a little bit. I'm going to take my little biscuit cutter. There's one. My second biscuit. Pop this in a 450 degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Now I'm going to get my smoked sausage cooking. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in this pan. I've got it turned on a medium heat. I'm going to take half of one of those pieces of smoked sausage. I'm just going to slice it down the center. And I'm going to fry it up that way. So just put it in your pan. My biscuits are done. This one over here looks kind of funky, but that's okay. We're going to probably eat some of that homemade syrup I had left over from yesterday on this little funky looking biscuit right here with some butter. We're going to call this smoked sausage done. I'm going to put it on this plate right here. We're going to get our veggies going for our omelet. I'm going to add a little bit of butter to this pan. I'm going to let that melt down. We're going to put some of our peppers and onions in this pan. I've got my 1 egg in a bowl. I'm going to pour me just a little bit of milk in there. Just take and scramble that up. I'm going to add a little salt into my egg, a little pepper, and a little bit of onion powder. Okay, I'm going to add my egg in. I'm going to throw a little bit of spinach in. Just baby spinach. And I've got a little bit of the shredded Colby Jack cheese. So, this is brunch, day 2. You have homemade biscuits, smoked sausage, and what's supposed to be an omelet. It looks good, it smells good, so I'm going to go eat. Tonight's dinner is a chicken noodle soup. So I've got my saucepan and I've put 3 cups of water in it. Turned it on high. Got this out of the pantry. This is a pantry staple in my home. So this is what I'm using instead of chicken broth. I'm going to use 3 teaspoons of this in my water. I'm just going to get that mixed up in there. Now I'm going to take my can of chicken. I've got it open. I'm not going to drain it just yet, but we are only going to use half of this. I'm going to put some of that fat from that chicken down in there to add a little bit of flavor. The rest of this chicken and the broth is going to go in a bowl. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and we'll use this tomorrow night. I'm also going to take some of my frozen peas and carrots. I'm not going to measure these. I'm just going to pour some in there. Now my chicken broth had some salt in it already, so I'm not going to add salt just yet. I'll taste it at the end to see if it needs salt. But I am going in with some pepper. And some onion powder. Now these are just seasonings that I always keep in my pantry. And we're going to do some parsley. It's starting to boil, so we'll get those seasonings mixed up in there, and we'll get a lid put on this, turn the heat down, and just let it simmer for about 10-15 minutes. We're going to add some egg noodles in. So here we go. Day 2's dinner. Chicken noodle soup. Looks and smells delicious. Great for a cold night. I'm going to go eat. See you tomorrow. This is day 3, brunch. Yes, I'm eating leftover chicken noodle soup from last night's dinner. All I did was add a little more water to it because it did need that. And I heated it up on the stove and I've got it in a bowl, and this is what I'm eating for my breakfast / lunch today. So no cooking for me this morning. See you again this evening. Okay, this is day 3 dinner. We're going to get this dinner started by putting some water in a pot, putting it on the stove, and I'm going to add some salt to it. The water's boiling, so we're going to add some noodles in. I'm not measuring. I'm just going to add some till I think it's enough. I think that's going to be plenty. Boil these till they're al dente. I'm going to be using some of these frozen peas and carrots in this dish. And no, we're not making chicken noodle soup again. My noodles are done and those veggies have thawed, so it's time to take this off. I'm going to drain this, but I am going to reserve some of the pasta liquid. Now in this same saucepan that I used for the noodles, I'm going to put me a little bit of oil, about a tablespoon or so. Next, I'm going to take me a big old spoon of flour. I'm going to put it in that pot. I'm going to cook that flour. You just want to cook the flour to get the raw taste out of it. Now I'm going to add me some milk in. Now I don't want to use all my milk up, so I'm going to add me a little water into this. I'm going to start with a 1/4 cup. We're just making us a little cheese sauce. I just hadn't added the cheese in yet. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper to this. I'm also going to add in a little bit of onion powder. And I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of water. Okay, I've got some of my cheese grated up and I'm going to add some in there. Get that stirred around and let it start melting. Making us a nice cheese sauce. It'll thicken up. We're going to go ahead and add the chicken in. Now this is the chicken that I had left from last night's dinner, the chicken noodle soup. I'm going to pour it all in this pot. Just get that all stirred up in there. I'm going to break those chicken pieces up some so that it's more shredded. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Now I'm going to add my egg noodles with my peas and carrots into my sauce. Now I'm going to bulk this up a little bit with some baby spinach. I'll start by just tossing just a couple of handfuls in. And that's probably going to be enough. I'm just going to get that stirred up in there. And I am calling this a chicken noodle bake because this is going to go in the oven on 400 degrees for probably about 10 to 20 minutes. I'm going to put a little bit more spinach in. Oh yeah, doesn't that look great? That looks so good. It smells delicious. Okay, I've got me a little casserole dish right here. Just going to take this, put it in my dish. You taste this, it does need a little something. We're going to add a little salt. And we're going to add a little bit more pepper. And even a little more onion powder. We're going to get this mixed up. I'm going to sprinkle a little cheese on top. And we're going to pop this in the oven. And there you go. This is our chicken noodle bake, I guess is what we're going to call it. Going in the oven. Here is my cheesy chicken noodle pasta bake. I'm not sure what we're calling it. I made this on the fly. So that's kind of how I cook sometimes. So there is no written recipe anywhere. I just put this together as I went along. So that's just how I cook. I would apologize, but I'm not sorry for the way I cook. So anyway, I'm going to let this sit over here for a few minutes and cool down some before I dish it up. I am going to sprinkle it with a little bit of parsley flakes though. I'm going to be having a salad with that, and I already have it fixed. It's got the salad mix, and then I put spinach in it also for some added vitamins. I'm going to be using some ranch dressing. And that's what's for dinner. This is way more than enough for my dinner tonight. So this is going to be multiple meals. It's almost like a chicken pot pie, only with noodles and no biscuit on it. Doesn't that look delicious? Night 3. So here's my dinner for day 3. It's the cheesy chicken pasta bake and a nice big salad. I'm gonna go eat. This is day 4. It's time to cook us some brunch. I'm going to be making some smoked sausage and pepper egg bites with cheese. And so I've got 2 eggs I've got cracked in a bowl. I'm going to be adding a little milk, some salt and pepper, and we'll get these scrambled up. But first, I'm going to get my smoked sausage and my peppers going on top of the stove. I've got my quarter of the sausage chopped up in just small pieces. I'm going to add that to my pan. I'm also going to add some peppers and onions in. I'm going to go ahead and get my eggs ready. I'm going to add in a little bit of milk. I'm going to add in some salt, pepper, and onion powder. I'm going to grate some of this cheese to add into this mix. I'm going to mix some of this cheese up in my eggs, and we'll save a little bit to sprinkle on the top. Okay, I've got my oven preheated to 375. I've got 4 wells right here that I have sprayed with a nonstick cooking spray. We're going to take some of our smoked sausage and pepper mixture and put that in each well. Now I'm going to add in my eggs. I'm just going to pour a little bit in each well. Now I'm going to top each one with a little bit of the remainder of our cheese. Hey, these are good to go. I'm going to pop them in the oven on 375 for between probably 10 and 20 minutes. I've got my egg bites out of the oven. I'm going to set them to the side and let them cool for just a few minutes, and then we'll pop them out. These look and smell delicious. So this is day 4 brunch, day 5 brunch. I don't have to cook brunch tomorrow. I'm going to go eat. This is what the inside looks like. Mine took 15 minutes. Okay, I'm prepping for my day 4 dinner. I am going to be doing chicken fried rice. I really should have cooked my rice yesterday, but I forgot. So I'm doing it this morning. And I've got 1 cup of water, a half a cup of rice, and some salt in this pot. When it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it down and put a lid on it and simmer for about 15 minutes. My rice is done. I'm going to set this to the side and let it cool, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator until I cook my dinner tonight. Day 4's dinner is chicken fried rice. Let's get to it. You want to put you some oil in a pan. If you have sesame oil, that's great. I don't. I'm using olive oil. I'm going to add in some peas and carrots. I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of what's in this bag. I'm also going to add in some of this pepper stir fry. I've got a good bit left, so I'm going to use about half of this bag. Next, I'm going to add in a half of that can of chicken. I don't need the juice, so please don't come for me in the comments about how it adds flavor. I know it does. I am reserving that juice from that can of chicken for another meal. So add in some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. Next, you want to take your rice, dump it in there. Once you get all of your veggies and your rice heated through, cook just a little bit. Make a circle in the center of your rice, add you a little bit of oil. Where you put that oil at, you want to take 1 egg, crack it, and put it in the center of that. Let that egg start cooking up, and you want to start scrambling it around. Once your egg is starting to cook and get all scrambled, you can incorporate it in with your rice and veggies. Fried rice is very simple to make. People think it's hard, but it's not. Very, very easy. Very delicious and very budget friendly. If you've got some soy sauce hanging out, this is the time to put it in. I always keep soy sauce in my fridge. Day 4 dinner, chicken fried rice. Smells delicious. I'm going to go eat. That fried rice made quite a bit. I have eaten at least half of it, so I can't eat any more of it. This is going in the fridge for another day. Day 5 brunch. These were made yesterday and they are delicious. I just heated them up, just popped them in the microwave for a few seconds. We are good to go. I'm gonna go eat. Day 5 dinner. Let's get these green beans on. I'm gonna add a little pepper, a little onion powder. I'll bring them to a boil, put a lid on them, turn them down to simmer, let them cook for just a little bit. You can add you some oil or butter in right here, or bacon grease if you have it. While I'm getting my green beans started, I've got me a pot back here. I'm gonna turn it on high. I've got some water in it. I'm gonna add some salt. And when it comes to a boil, I'm gonna add the rest of my egg noodles. In go the rest of my noodles. Cook for 8 minutes for al dente, 10 for tender. Now while all that's going on, in my cast iron skillet right here, I'm going to put me a little oil. Now once your oil gets hot, you're going to take you some flour. I'm just going to take a spoonful. I'm going to put it in that oil. You want to whisk this around. You want to cook your flour. You just want to cook that flour taste out. Once you cook this for a minute or two, just to get that nasty flour taste out, I'm going to pour a little bit of water in. I've got a cup right here. I'm just going to start with a little at a time, whisking that around. Now I need some more liquid. I've got my chicken right here, but I'm not putting my chicken in just yet. I am going to use some of the broth from that though in my gravy. Since I'm making chicken and gravy to put over some noodles, I'm going to use a little bit of this, but I'm reserving some of it for another meal. So we're just going to use a little bit. Get that stirred around in there real good. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in some salt. And some pepper. And a little bit of onion powder. I am going to add in just a little bit of milk to help make this a little creamier. Now I'm going to add my chicken in. I'm not adding that broth in. I've already added some. I'm just going to add the chunks of chicken in. Just get those chunks of chicken. If you want to leave it chunked, leave it chunked. I don't like mine that way. So I'm breaking it into smaller pieces. Just like that. You've got a nice chicken gravy. Let's get these noodles drained. But I'm going to take my gravy. Don't that look delicious? And I tasted the gravy just a minute ago and it is delicious. We're going to take it and pour it over these noodles. Just get it stirred up. You could add some spinach to it if you wanted to. I do have some spinach. I am not putting spinach in this tonight. And just like that, day 5 dinner is done. Chicken and gravy over noodles with green beans. Looks delicious. I'm going to go enjoy. Okay, day 6. I'm going to make some brown sugar muffins for brunch today and enough for tomorrow. Now, depending on how much it makes, I may have enough for a snack. We'll see. Okay, to a bowl you're going to need 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, 5 tablespoons of melted butter. You just want to get your brown sugar and your butter stirred up together. To this you're going to add 3/4 of a cup of milk, 1 egg, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Get this all stirred together. Now you're going to add your flour, about 1 1/4 cups. Now you're just going to mixy. Just stir it up real good. Now I'm using a jumbo muffin tin. You use whatever size you want or whatever size you have. Now I'm going to pop this in a 375-degree oven for about probably 20 to 30 minutes. Here are the brown sugar muffins, straight out of the oven. They smell so good. I'm gonna let these cool. Yummy brunch, day 6. They're still hot. Look how light and fluffy. They smell so good. Okay, let's kick off day 6 dinner by making a smoked sausage pepper potato bake. I'm going to use the last of my pepper stir fry veggies. I'm going to put them in an iron skillet with some oil and get those heated up. So that finishes my peppers. I'm going to add in a half of one of those pieces of smoked sausage. For the potatoes, I'm going to be using half of this box of au gratin potatoes. Grab you a casserole dish of some sort. I'm going to need 1 cup of boiling water, so I have that back here. I'm going to get that started. So I'm going to take half of these. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to put them in this casserole dish. Add 1 tablespoon of butter into your potatoes. You need a 1/4 cup of milk. My water was boiling, so I'm going to, and this is just 1 cup, so I'm going to add the whole thing in. I'm going to take the sauce mix packet that is in the potatoes, and I'm going to use about half of it. Preheat your oven to 450 degrees. I'm just eyeballing this, so I'm going to add a little onion powder. And a little pepper. Now I'm going to add my peppers and onions and sausage in. Just give that a little mixy mix. Get that down in there real good. Now I've still got some of that Colby Jack cheese left. I went ahead and shredded it all and put it in this little bag. I've got a good bit of it left, so I'm going to add some of it into this. Just get that mixed up in there. Now I'm going to pop this into my 450-degree oven for about 25 minutes. See you then. I got my smoked sausage pepper potato bake out of the oven. I've let it sit here and cool a little bit. I'm sure it's probably still hot down in there, but I'm going to get some of this dished up. There we go. Day 6 dinner. Smoked sausage with pepper potato bake. and leftover green beans from last night's dinner. You've got you a nice meal. Let's go eat. Day 7 brunch. One of these delicious brown sugar muffins. I've heated mine in the microwave for about 20 seconds. That's perfect for me. I'm gonna go enjoy my brunch. Day 7 dinner. Okay, I'm going to attempt something that I've never done before. Now, I'm making potato soup, which I have done many times, but I have never used au gratin potatoes to make potato soup. So I'm bringing y'all with me on this little adventure, and we're going to see if this works. So if you'll remember from yesterday, we only used half of that pack of au gratin potatoes. So today, you want to take a pot, dump the rest of them in that pot. Now I'm going to go ahead and add about 1/4 of a cup of water in there just to give them a little bit of liquid right now. I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of milk. I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of butter. Now if you'll remember that last can of chicken I opened, I kept saying I wasn't going to use the broth, right? Well, I didn't use it until today. I've had this in the refrigerator. We're going to pour this broth in there. I've heated it up a little bit because I didn't want to pour it in cold and stop the process that's already going on in this pot. But I am going to add all of that in. Since I'm not using the sauce packet in this, I am going to add a little bit of salt. Pepper. And onion powder. Give it a stir. Our potatoes have come to a boil. We're going to boil this for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to take this potato masher and I'm going to go ahead and start mashing these up. I'm not going to mash them up completely, but I do want them broke up. I'm going to add in about 1/4 cup of water. Bring it back to a boil. I have tasted for seasoning and I did add in some more pepper and onion powder, and I did add a little bit of garlic powder in. Now I have another 1/4 cup of water over here. I'm going to take a little bit of my flour and I'm going to put it in this water and I'm going to whisk it up. We're going to make kind of a slurry. Just got a spoon of flour. I'm just going to put that in until I see if it's enough or not. Just whisk that around. When you get it mixed up really good and there's not any clumps or lumps in it, you're just going to pour it into your soup. Just get that slurry mixed up in your soup really good. It's going to help thicken it. If you feel like it's too thick, just add you a little bit of water to it. That's thickening up really nice and really quick. I am going to add a little bit of water in here because I'm afraid that might be a little too thick for what I want. So I turned it down to a low heat. I'm going to add some parsley flakes on mine. Makes it nice and pretty. I'm going to let that simmer just a little bit. Then we'll get it dished up. Alright, y'all. This is our potato soup. Made with a box, or a half a box, of au gratin potatoes. Looks delicious. Smells delicious. Now I still got some of these real bacon pieces left. And we're going to top this bowl of potato soup with some of these bacon pieces. Now you could add it into the soup itself if you wanted to. I'm just going to add it to the top. And I also still have some shredded cheese. So, we're going to top it with some cheese. So there you go. A nice bowl of potato soup. That's what's for dinner tonight. Okay, y'all. This is day 8 of the budget meal video, and I'm choosing to end it today. I will, however, be eating leftovers for the next few days. So realistically, you can get at least 10 days worth of brunch and dinner out of what I purchased from the Dollar Tree and Walmart. I do have quite a few things left, so I am going to turn you around and show you what I have left, and we'll kind of toss around a couple of ideas of what we could do with what I have left. Okay, y'all, this is what I had left. That $31.05 stretched very, very far. I have not gone hungry. This has been more than enough food, especially for one person. We have leftovers here. We have leftovers over here. Let's start with those. This right here was from the cheesy chicken noodle bake. There is still plenty of that left, so I will be reheating that for another meal. This is the chicken fried rice that I had one night. There's enough of that for another meal. And this right here is the chicken and gravy with the noodles. There's enough of that for another meal. So you still have salad left that is still very good. I still have spinach left. I can mix these two together and make enough salad to go with 2 or all 3 of those meals, depending on how much salad you ate with it, because I still have salad dressing. Plenty of salad dressing. I still have cheese that can be put in your salad. I still have bacon bits. There's at least half a package of bacon bits. I have about a half a pound of rice at least left. I still have that much of my flour left. I still have brown sugar left. I still have granulated sugar left. This is cheese sauce mix from the au gratin potatoes. I actually have one whole piece of sausage left that I cut up to put in this bag. This could be another 2 breakfasts right there. You could fry that up, and there's probably enough milk to make you some biscuits one day. Let's pour it out. I'm going to pour it into here, and we're going to see just how much we do have left. Okay, you see that? It's almost 3/4 of a cup. Almost. So that's enough to make some more biscuits. So you've got 1 or 2 more breakfasts right here. I mean, plenty of meals left. So realistically, on that $30 budget, you can get 10 days worth of meals. Easy. And still have food left. So I did use all of the frozen peas and carrots. I used the entire can of green beans, the box of au gratin potatoes, all of the frozen peppers and onions. They were all completely used. I used all 6 of my eggs. But we still have all this left, and you can still get meals from this. And I have 2 of my brown sugar muffins left. So that could be brunch for days 8 and 9. Unless you choose to eat them as a snack. So even on a small budget of $30, you can still eat good. You really can. Just think about what you already have at home, which I didn't do that on this. Other than oil and butter and my spices, I used nothing that I already had. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you for watching it in its entirety. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to all my subscribers. Please go give this video a like, share the video, leave me a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one.